Y'all, I stink at packing. I just decided I'm gonna pack in the kitchen, and I started working, and then the next thing I know, I'm making Rice Krispie treats. I have certain tasks that I need to get done on my checklist by certain days. I'm trying to not procrastinate and get the house steadily packed. We've got about 4 weeks, like right under 4 weeks, until our pods leave, and so I don't want to wait until last minute. I really want our stuff to be packed well and organized so that the unpacking is a little smoother. And so far it's going well. Maya's sister Michaela works for us, and she primarily does the shipping for the sticker business and all of that, but she's been helping with packing too, and she's good at organizing, so not my strong suit. I mean, I'm packing right now and I'm actually making Rice Krispie treats, so. The kitchen is the last thing that we've really done much in as far as packing goes, because today was my sister-in-law's baby shower, or like we call it like a mother's blessing. It's not really so much a baby shower, but like where we had her come and like prayed over her and wrote affirmations for her birth room and all of that stuff. And I wanted my kitchen to look like somewhat normal for that, but now that's over, and this is kind of like the next place of focus. So this video is going to be something of a hodgepodge, because it was turn on the camera and show you just a little glimpse of my real evening, or not make a video. I've had several people say, you know, hey, y'all can take off during the move and stuff, and I really don't feel a lot of pressure to like make a lot of content, but I do want to share the process with you guys, and I really appreciate the encouragement and the interaction. After my last video, which was 100%, it was very raw. The cat is sneezing, that's what that sound is. Just so you know. Little William, he actually has an appointment at the vet this week because he's got a little bit of an upper respiratory infection. But yes, that video was very raw. I just felt overwhelmed with the encouragement that came after that, and I so appreciate it. You guys are such amazing cheerleaders during this season. Everything does feel a little topsy-turvy. I was extremely emotional in that last video. My dad is in the hospital and just going through the treatments and stuff, so please continue to pray for him, and it's just a lot right now. So I'm gonna have grace for myself. I'm gonna make real videos like this and show you random stuff inside my house while I get stuff together to pack, and use it as motivation to actually get things done. My kids are gonna be so happy. A little treat for them. And look at this. Today was the first time I went out to the garden and harvested a full bowl of cherry tomatoes. This was like heaping, and I was pretty excited about that, and they're really good. So for the baby shower today, I did like a big spread here on this little table in the middle of the kitchen. We ate that this afternoon. My kids were here, and we had our little ladies time in here, and then I called the kids up to come and make their plates and eat. So I'm not cooking dinner tonight since everybody kind of filled up on that. So we'll probably just have like snacks and maybe some leftovers of that meat stuff. But I did want to share this with you guys because I have mentioned this before, and I get asked about it a lot, and it's super simple. So this is leftover from the shower. Let me give you a little peek in here. Nice. See that? All right, so I have mentioned multiple times making like strawberry basil lemonade or raspberry basil lemonade or blackberry basil lemonade. And I have often squeezed lemons and cooked like a simple syrup with berries and gone the whole nine and made like from scratch lemonade, and it is amazing. However, I don't always have time to do that, and so what I do, and I do this a lot for parties, is I'll just get like I like this brand, Simply Lemonade. This is not sponsored by any means. This is what I bought at the grocery store. Or whatever. Like, you can get, sometimes grocery stores will have like real fresh squeezed lemonade, which is cool if you can get that, but a lot of times it's really expensive. And this is just super easy and it's pretty affordable. So what I'll do is I'll get a couple of these, and usually if I'm having an event that I want to have this, or if I just want to have it at the house, the night before, I'll pour a little bit of this out just to make some space, and I'll take some basil leaves. I didn't get to do this the night before, I had to do it the day of. I'll take some basil leaves and pick them and kind of just crush them and roll them after they're washed so that they're kind of releasing some flavor, and stuff them down in this jug, as well as mash up some berries. Like today, this is raspberry. They have a strawberry one also, but I did raspberries in this one. And mash up just a handful of them and put them in there and just shake it up really good. And it's best if you can do that the night before and let it sit overnight. And then just pour it in a pitcher with some more berries and basil leaves. And it just makes it kind of fancy for events. You can go all out and make it from scratch, and it really is amazing when you make it from scratch, but you don't always have time to cook a simple syrup and all that stuff. So this is kind of like the cheater way. So we've got the shelves pretty well emptied. I'm starting to get these shelves emptied, and I was going to start just pulling out extra stuff and putting it on the table to begin packing it. I'm so tempted by the garden. Just look how pretty it is with the sun shining on it. So lovely. I told myself it would not be responsible to spend the evening in the garden when I don't have to cook dinner. When I've got appointments and errands tomorrow, I need to pack. I actually bought like some paper plates and stuff, and I think I'm gonna pretty heavily pack up the kitchen. And I think I'm gonna just leave out like a few cast iron skillets, the ones I use the most, probably like a 10, 12, and 14, my heavy Dutch oven, a stock pot, and like a couple of cookie sheets in a casserole dish, which that's obviously, that's a lot of cookware to just be like, I'm just gonna leave that out. But I have a really very stocked kitchen after a lot of years of cooking from scratch, and that is all I really need to be able to do any basic cooking for the next 3 or 4 weeks. And I will probably just pack all of that together in a couple of boxes, and that won't go in the pods. That'll be in just one of our cars. We'll probably take a truck bed full of like essential things, and that way I can access all of that stuff in the camper, and then as soon as we're moving into our mobile home. Because when you have a lot of kids, just eating out during transitionary periods is really not an option. It would just not be economical at all, even for just a few weeks, to feed all of my kids eating out. Cooking, it's really a necessity. What's funny is that we've actually already packed up the non-essentials. Like, this was the stuff that was deemed essentials a few months ago. So here's a 12-inch skillet. I'll leave that one out. I have multiples of each size of skillet because, I mean, I use them a lot. That can go up. Oh no, this was a 10-inch, not a 12-inch. This is a 12-inch, and then right here on the bottom is a 14. So 3 cast iron skillets, the Dutch oven. Oh, I probably need to leave out a mixing bowl. I'm even gonna pack my dishes. This is getting so real. Right. These can go over here. See, I have like these massive saucepans. But this isn't necessary. I can go 3.5 weeks without this pan. So I realized that in essence, by telling you this story, by pausing what I'm doing to tell you this story, I am doing the thing that I'm telling you that I do, which is get distracted and find other things to do. But I just saw this stack of photos, and I just have to show you guys some of these. Look at this. Look at those little cuties. This is on mine and Sweet Maya's first date. How cute is that little angel? Oh my goodness. Look at this. That is when I was pregnant with Toby. That's so crazy. Look at this, look at these kiddos. So we were youth leaders for years ago. And that is one evening at a youth event that we were doing back when we were in youth ministry. Okay, this is kind of cool. I remember this night. This photo, this actually is from one of my very, very early YouTube videos. And I don't know that this scene actually made it into the video. It might have. I'd have to go back and look at it. But somebody commented on this video recently. And I'll see if I can find it and link it down below. This is from 2017. So it's one of my very early YouTube videos. A long time ago. I don't think I posted it until later. Oh, here, look. Okay, so this is kind of a bad quality photo. But this is the night that we got engaged. We went to a concert. It was a guy named Corey Smith. And we went on a little walk after the concert down by the river, and we paused and stopped at the park, which was where we went one of the first times we ever hung out. Jeremiah got on one knee and proposed, and it was very, very sweet. So I could obviously stay distracted in this for a long time, but I think I showed you all the ones that I wanted to. There are so many great memories to be had. Oh, okay, last one. This is one of, oh no, two more. Okay, so here's another one. This is about a month after we got married. Isn't that sweet? And this is one of my favorite photos of all time, and I actually want to get this printed as a big canvas, but this is prior to Benjamin, and this was visiting my dear friend Kathy's house on her horses, and my four boys, pre-Benjamin days. So sweet. I love looking at old pictures. I should be back. All right, so see, here's stuff that I could totally pack. Pasta maker. I'm not making pasta in this next month. Let's be real. Even I'm not optimistic enough to think that that's gonna happen. Should probably leave the colanders out. Mixer. I'm trying to be realistic about what's actually gonna happen over the next few weeks. We have to eat, but I guess I'll probably could leave my KitchenAid unpacked. Need the colander. This is what's hard. One thing I have not yet packed is my mug collection, as you can see. And I was kind of waiting on that because I don't want to put it in the pod. That's something that I'm going to be packing very carefully and taking probably in my car on one of the trips that we're taking, and kind of trying to make sure that that doesn't get put somewhere where it's going to be at risk, because this represents years of gifts and birthday presents and mugs that have been sent to me from viewers. Like, look at this. These are treasures. They're irreplaceable, so you have to be very careful with them. So I've actually gotten some really great packing tips from you guys over the course of like the last couple of months since we announced that we were moving. But here I'm asking for it. I would love your packing tips. For those of you who have made moves like this, I know several people have been like, hey, this is a massive undertaking. You know, we're military, or you know, because of our job or whatever, we made many cross-country moves, and I've received tips that I just would have had no clue otherwise. There's like all kinds of random things down here. See, I get so inspired. I'm like, hey, I should make popsicles. Already made Rice Krispie treats. Don't need to do that. Oh, this was my mother-in-law's. Do you have things like that that like otherwise would not be great treasures? And obviously this was not like some prized possession of hers, but she always made deviled eggs for holidays and always served them on this little egg holder. It's one of the things of hers that I have in my kitchen. But yes, please share with me your packing tips. I would love to hear them, comment them down below, because you guys have thought of a lot of things that I don't think about. This is, I've moved before, even like a long move. When Jackson and Asher were really small, I moved to Knoxville, Tennessee. That was before Asher was born, and then moved back with both of them. He was born in Knoxville. But I was moving in an apartment worth of stuff with 2 small children, no pets, no farm. It was a very, very different move. This one is definitely a different undertaking and requiring a lot more logistics. Oh, my brother made this. Drew. This is apparently the drawer where I put a lot of things I didn't really feel great about throwing away, but I didn't really know what to do with. So, as well as a few things that are meaningful to me. These are actually overflow. I need to pack these with my pot holders and stuff, and my aprons. Those must have got stuck down there once while cleaning. Moving definitely does just reveal to you all the dysfunction in your life. Like the things that you don't really notice because you're just going about your everyday life. You just have to stop and look at and unpack or pack and organize and stuff, and you're like, oh my gosh, why do I have all this stuff? Well, actually I had someone pull in my driveway, and no, it's almost dark, and I'm just getting back at it here in the house. It's almost time to start getting my kids ready for bed. Might be a little bit of a late night getting this stuff situated. I put it all on the dining room table, so I would have to deal with it because I can't just leave it here. So I was gonna tell you guys something that I thought was absolutely crazy, and then I'm gonna wrap this video up so I can like get into get stuff done mode. But I needed to tell you this crazy story because you gardeners would appreciate the bizarreness of it. And also I needed some advice for those of you who know about these things. So today at the shower, I was wearing this, it's like a jumpsuit, and it's kind of flowy, and it's a really pretty spring green. It's fancy. I don't usually, like, I've never worn it in videos because, you know, it's not something I would normally wear outside in the garden. It's more like dress up. And I'd actually been wearing like kick around clothes and was cleaning and setting up the food and doing all of that stuff, and I changed into my nice outfit before everybody got here, but then I realized I had not gone out and picked the cherry tomatoes for the spread. So I was like, whatever, I'll run down to the garden and just be really careful not to make a mess of myself. How many times have I said that? And I went down to the garden and picked the bowl of cherry tomatoes, came back in. I was really proud that I did not like get carried away and lose track of time and come back in a sweaty mess. Everybody got here and we were like having the get together, the shower. And about an hour and a half later, I'm sitting at the table and I went to sit down and like smooth out my jumper from underneath me because it's real flowy. And I felt something that you don't want to feel, like a texture that as soon as your hand runs across it, you're like, ugh, that's not supposed to be there. It was on my leg. And I like pulled my jumper around and look, and there is a hornworm, I kid you not, like a tomato hornworm. It was little, it was like this big, sucking on my green jumper, attached, like sucking on it, like it was a tomato plant. And it was the color of a tomato plant. What the actual heck? I was like, ugh, like I don't like you in my garden. I certainly don't like you stuck to my clothes in my house. Like, what are you doing? So I pulled it off and threw it outside. But the thing that I wanted to know, because I've had several people tell me that you can feed those to bearded dragons, but then I've had other people tell me that if they've been on nightshades, which tomatoes are nightshades, but pretty much any plant that tomato hornworms are on, like the host plant for a hummingbird moth, which is the mature state of a hornworm. A hornworm is the larval stage of a hummingbird moth. They choose to lay their eggs on nightshades. So like where, I mean, I know they have hornworms you can buy at the pet store. And I guess if you buy those, they've never eaten nightshades. But is that true that you can't feed them if they've eaten nightshades? You can't feed them to a bearded dragon? I haven't tried. Jackson has this bearded dragon. Of course, we like buy crickets for it and stuff. And right now, I'm gonna go pick hornworms in the dark with a blacklight flashlight. And I just didn't know if I could feed those to the bearded dragon. I don't want to risk it if it's if there's any chance it's gonna hurt him. That last thing I wanna reiterate, for those of you who don't know this, many of you know this if you've been watching my channel for very long, or at least through a summer. You've probably heard this tip before, but tomato hornworms are the little green monsters that can knock out a tomato plant like a day, and they glow under black light. So if you're dealing with those, it's very hard to find them during the day because they blend in with tomato plants and lovely green jumpers, apparently. And if you can find them when they're small, you can head them off and you can get them before you have to deal with going out and seeing a plant completely stripped of its leaves or unripe fruits that are half eaten. So that's obviously preferable, but when they're really small, they're really hard to find. And if you just get a blacklight flashlight, I've had a few different brands of them, but just the cheap, like $10, $12 one from Amazon is the one that I've found that works the best. And you go out there when it's dark. I have an old video that I'll put a link to that you guys can watch, but it really is a game changer. And if you stay on top of it over the course of years, you'll knock down the population. And you just hand pick them at night, or you just wear a lovely green jumper that tempts them off your plants into your house. At least now I know that it's time to get the flashlight out. I haven't hunted for them this year because I haven't seen any signs of them. And now I still haven't seen any signs of them on my tomatoes, but now I know they're there. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. I didn't pack a single box, but I am now prepared to pack some boxes. I bless you guys. Until next time.